heavy duty rock star, Mr. Tim Gillette. I have not had the privilege on meeting this guy in person yet, but I remember seeing him live on, not live, but virtually on stage back in January when he took the stage and offered his story. And I remember after that happened that there was an opportunity to reach out to him. And before I could even reach out to the guy, he reached out to me. And we started having a conversation, and we both just instantly connected as brothers. And I am super excited that Tim, like I said before, that he is our first Legacy yearly sponsor of 2026, and truly honored and humbled with that, Tim. Love you, brother, and the virtual summit is yours.
90% of the people in this call right now, that's 9 out of 10 of you, will do nothing with what you hear today. You're going to go away feeling inspired. You're going to nod and say, hey, great, thank you for coming. But you're going to drive home. You're going to forget about things. Life's going to take over. Life's going to throw you some punches. Life's going to throw you a lot of punches because I've heard some of your stories. But you know what? There's 10% in here who will actually do something with what they learned today. Now, I'm not here to talk to the 90%. I'm here to talk to the 10%. Now, I'm not putting down the 90% because you could become one of the 10%. See, most people in this life, they don't fail because they don't care. They fail because they assume they have time left. You have time to fix it, you figure. Hey, man, I still got time to forgive that person. I still have time to start over. I know that's what you're saying, aren't you? Well, I want to talk to you about a little bit of my history and loss. Over the past 25 years, I've lost some pretty important people. We can go back even further than that and go maybe 35 years I've lost some very important people. Now, in 2014, I lost my father-in-law and became the real man in my wife's life. In 2010, on New Year's Eve, I lost my father on New Year's Eve. Try celebrating New Year's Eve after that. Then we go back to 2005. I lost my grandmother, my mom's mom, someone who was very much close to me, and I loved her growing up. She's my favorite grandparent. In 2003, I lost my best friend. And I'm going to tell you, he was leaving here on his 1-year anniversary of his wedding to go on like a honeymoon finally. When his wife came back with his body, she'd asked me for where the keys to the Ferrari were. That's how well I was friends with him. And I thought that was a huge impact on my life, and I couldn't figure out, man, I was trying to grow in life and couldn't get past it. But that wasn't the one. Now, I lost my grandmother. My grandmother on my dad's side, I lost her. And I carried her casket in 1993, even though that woman never owned me as her grandchild. You see, my father adopted me. Yes, my father adopted me, the child of the woman he married. And I became his oldest son. I became the person who led his funeral service. But those grandparents weren't the impact. And before I go to the person who was the impact, I'm going to tell you the story. See, my daughter lives here in the house with me. As you've seen my grandson pop up here. In 2023, my daughter moved here because the gentleman who got her pregnant tried to beat her and kill her. And I'm a pretty furious type person. My dad, as a dad, I sent people to Philadelphia to get my daughter and get her here. And the joy came out as that year went along because my grandson was going to be born on December 31st, New Year's Eve. And I was going to be able to celebrate this. Finally, I was going to make that day good again. I got excited. January 31st came and went. You see, that little boy decided to wait until a different day. And it wasn't him that decided, it was God who decided. Because God had to make me revisit this. He was born on January 13th. January 13th, 2003, the day my grandfather died, who I carried his casket. My mom's dad. I carried his casket. The last time I spoke to him before that day of carrying his casket was 19 1978. You know what the last words I said to that man was? I hate you and I will never speak to you again. Because my cousin Barry and I, we went outside, we were playing in the snow. And we didn't hear, because if you ever hear the windy snow on those big mountains in Pennsylvania, you can't hear on a windy night in the snow. My grandfather came out and he was yelling, come inside, come inside. We didn't hear him. When we finally came in, we were greeted by an angry grandfather who punched us in the face like a boxing match. A 60-year-old man punching a 12-year-old like he's boxing him, drunk as can be. That was the last time I spoke to that man. And my last words were, I hate you and I will never speak to you again. Pretty impactful, because that became true. That's something I have to live with for the rest of my life. Those were the last words I ever told my grandfather. See, death is final. I kept thinking, you know what I mean? His last year, I'll get up there and I'll apologize and I'll talk to him and I'll ask for his forgiveness and I'll forgive him. But I never got there. Life got busy. I had different things I had to do, so I couldn't go do it. I had to hold back. Hold on a second. Someone wanted to break into my room. I had to hold on to that in my life because of the fact that I did not forgive him. And it wasn't until later in 2003 that someone said to me, Tim, you know what's holding you back is you've got unforgiveness. Do you know what unforgiveness is? That's you drinking the poison, hoping they die. Do you know what hate is? Hate is letting them control you for eternity. See, I don't choose hate anymore. That was the day I decided I would never hate anyone ever again. I had to learn that because I still have to live the rest of my life with the fact the last words I said to my grandfather was, I hate you, and I will never talk to you again. You see, I refuse to give anybody that power anymore. I choose now to love, to forgive. I may never agree with you on everything. As a matter of fact, majority of the world I don't agree with. I've interviewed more people, probably 1,800 some odd people on my podcast, and majority of them, I disagree with their philosophy in life, but I interview them and I make them think like I'm the greatest supporter of what they do because I love them. And just because I may disagree with how you help people doesn't mean that I don't agree with the fact that you're helping people. I choose to love you. I choose that if you step on my toe to forgive you. I choose if you accidentally hit my car to forgive you. Now, I may be angry at the moment, but I'll forgive you. Because I'm not going to let another person leave this earth with that being the last words I ever say to him. I didn't forgive him, and that really, when I finally learned to forgive him, I did it when I was in a safe zone. He can no longer hurt me, so I guess I can forgive him now. It's still going to haunt me. It's still going to work it in the head because we don't know if we have tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be here tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. What's the words that you want to leave with impact in today's world that if this was your last time to talk to someone, what would it be? You see, that moment of forgiveness taught me something that I wished I'd have learned sooner in life. Starting over or fixing up what you've got to fix, it doesn't happen when the pain's gone. It happens when you make the decision. It happens when you decide that you're not going to live with the regret anymore. Most of you in this room right now are delaying something. You're delaying a business decision. You may be delaying the fact that you know it's time for the divorce. You may be delaying the fact that you know that It's time to actually maybe propose. You may be delaying the fact that it's actually time to say, it's okay, Dad, I forgive you. It's okay, Mom, I forgive you. It's okay, ex-spouse, I forgive you. It's okay, child, I forgive you. It's okay, granddad, I forgive you. But everybody, probably most of the people in this room are delayed. They're delaying it. You're delaying your decision. You're delaying the conversation. You're delaying what you're going to have as your new beginning because you think you have tomorrow. See, loss has a way of removing the illusion of later. You see, when later disappears, all you have left is now. I was asked a question at a random thing at a networking meeting yesterday. If you had the choice, would you, in time travel, would you rather go back to the future or go back to the past? Think about that. If you had a choice, the future or the past, which would you do and why? You see, because both of them are out of reach. You only have right now. People think they need some sort of new motivation to start over. They think they need to be inspired by somebody like Tim or Craig or David speaking to be inspired and start over. No, you don't. Here's the truth that we like it or we don't like. No matter how much I love you, David, I can't change you. No matter how much I love you, Megan, I can't change you. No matter how much I love my mom, can't change her. No matter how much I love my wife, can't change her. There's only one person on this planet that I can change, and that's me. That's me. I can choose to change me. Hopefully, my change in me will impact enough other people to make their changes. I delayed for a long time before I started my speaking career. A long time. So I sold my last car wash business in 2004. All right. And kind of said I was going to be done with the car wash business forever. And one of my customers was a guy named Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the guy. I knew Zig personally. I never knew Zig the speaker. I never knew Zig the author. I never read Zig's books. I knew Zig the person. And Zig Ziglar sat down and said, Tim, you need to get up on stages and speak. And I'm like, dude, nobody wants to hear this. I delayed it from 2004 to 2010. I put it off. I could do that tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow. What if I never, ever, ever took Zig's advice? Craig, who just spoke here, I would not know Craig. David, I would not know David. Michael would not know Michael. There's a lot of people in my life I wouldn't know because I wouldn't have taken action. I wouldn't have been in the place to meet them where I was meant to meet them. So people think they need motivation to start over. See, most people aren't broken. They're just kind of stuck in the wrong gear in life. They're waiting for permission to move.
Mm-hmm.
I give you permission if that's what you're waiting for. If any of what I've said here, guys, kind of inspires you, all right, or makes you think that yes, I want to be that person. I build websites, and then David will put something in there about that. I'm not here to speak about the websites today. I was here to share with my story to relate to what the mission of this of being on the mountain was. But I mean, over the years, I've created content, and I always keep creating content based on what I learn. I'm in the self-help industry because I'm here to help people. I have been around people in this industry who are not interested in helping you. They're interested in how much money of yours they can help themselves to. And there's a lot of speaking engagements that you won't see me at because I'm not the guy who goes there. I'm the guy who creates the content based on what I learned or what I helped you learn. I'm in the business of helping people because I'm never going to have somebody else walk off that I hate them. I'm never going to have anybody, any of you, where I'm not going to forgive you. Because I learned the hard way that once that person is gone from this earth, I can't hug him and say, I forgive you. I'm sorry I said that, because it was too late. I started off this speech by telling you 90% of the people will do nothing with what they hear today. And I'm not just talking about my speech. I'm talking about every speech you hear today. 10% of you are going to change. And of the 10% of you who are going to make the change, 3% of those, three of those people will become highly successful in life. See, because I went to my first self-help course in 2003 when I was trying to figure out why I couldn't get past certain things. And that's where I learned that the biggest obstacle that was holding me back was the fact that I never forgave my grandfather for what he did to me. At my grandfather's funeral, the priest asked me, Tim, tell me about a story with your grandfather. And I said he was a drunk who hung around the basement. Every one of my cousins had fishing stories, hunting stories, tracking stories, growing the garden stories. I didn't, including my other cousin who never, who forgave him and basically same age got punched as well. He forgave him and moved on. I would find out later in life that when I was 2 years old, like my little grandson here, I was the apple of his eye. I was the one who lit him up to spend the rest of his life not talking to me and me not talking to him. I never talked to him as an adult, ever. Ever. So, as I said in the beginning, 90% of you will change. Won't do anything you won't change. 10% of you will. The question that I want to leave you with is a very simple question. Are you going to be that 10%? Thank you, David.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Absolutely, again, incredible. And there's a big smile from a certain blonde that got to hang out with you in Delaware. But before I let her say anything, and Kristen had her hand up first, absolutely love it, brother. Your heart is pure gold, man. And over the last two phone calls in the live that we did back on Sunday, um, you're stuck with the green and black, and I love what you do. Sharing about your grandfather and what you're displaying to your grandson now. I had a very close relationship with my own grandfather. I never knew my other one. He passed when my mom was 18 or 19 years old, so I never got to meet grandpa, but my grandfather Pop Ops, I was always his little guy who he always had cherry Coke in the fridge when Joey and I would come to the house. And he had Sunkiss for Joey. And he always made sure he had shrimp because they lived in Naples, Florida. And that's where my love of shrimp came from. And one of the proudest moments of my life is out of the four of us, the grandkids, Missy being the older one and me being the youngest, out of the four of us, I was the only one that picked up one of his biggest passions in life that he did with my father up until he was about 82 when he got diagnosed with mesothelioma cancer and Parkinson's, was we got to go big game hunting together. And I got my first elk with him before he got sick. And when you talk about the relationship that you want to build with your grandson, I see a lot of pop-ups coming out of you because that's what he did with me, Joey, Holt, and Missy. And he knew Ella, the firstborn of my cousin Missy, but he passed away in 2007. So he was 88. So just what you shared today was truly beautiful. And thank you for being a part of the movement with us and supporting Joey's legacy and doing what you're doing, bro. Now we're going to open it up to the Zoom room because I know there's a bunch of people that want to pour into you. So I don't know. I'm not going to pick because I don't want to get stuck in the middle. So have at it, ladies. Whoever comes off mute first.
All right, I got it. So, first of all, thank you for everything you said. But I have a question, and I know I've asked this question before, so some people may hear that I still haven't found my answer. What would you say to someone that still needs to keep boundaries with a person, but needs to forgive them who's continuing to do harm to you? Like how would you answer that?
You forgive them. It doesn't mean that they're allowed to get in close. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't allow them to get close until they can be trusted again. But that's not the forgiveness part. The forgiveness part is, you know what? You're never going to change. All right. You're not the idiot whisperer. Don't try to change them, but forgive them. But they don't get close until they prove they can be close again. You understand what I mean, Kristen?
No, yeah, I understand what you mean. I mean, and I'm not afraid to say it publicly. A lot of people know. My ex-husband is who I'm talking
Hmm.
about,
Hmm.
but he physically hurt me to the point where, like I'm still not recovered from it, like
Yeah.
years and years later. And, but to this day, he tries to control and manipulate me. But we share a son together, so I have to continue to co-parent with him. And it's just been one of the hardest things for me. I genuinely have a very like open, big, forgiving heart towards people. I forgave the man that hurt me at the hospital and gave me a traumatic brain injury. I mean, like I've worked on that like forgiveness, but I I don't like I've forgiven him, but then he continues to like do things to me, not because I'm letting him close to me, but
Hmm.
because that's just the kind of man that he is. And
Hmm.
I'm finding it really hard to continue to be like, I forgive you.
You just keep forgiving him, all right, but don't let him close without someone, all right. If he's not earned the trust, he doesn't get close without someone near. In my case, like my daughter, in dealing with the gentleman she dealt with, that man will not set foot on my property. I've forgiven him for what he tried to do, but he will not set foot on this property until he proves different. You know what I mean? And that's it. You got a co-parent situation. You need to have, a brother or, an uncle or something intervening anytime you have to have a reaction until he can be trusted alone because he can't. Yeah,
Thank you.
you bet.
Thank you, Kristen. What do you got, Meg?
This was, oh, where am I? Oh, you were awesome because this was a totally different side of you than I saw in Delaware. And I
Mhm.
appreciate being able to learn from two totally different aspects
Mhm.
of you, especially sharing other sides of your family. And I have a billion notes again. And thank you, because this really was motivating and impactful and is giving me the direction to be the 10%.
Mhm.
And I want you to know I heard you. And
Good.
thank you for that.
Good. Honored to meet you and honored to be honored to be my celebration buddy.
Me
So
too.
I did this little celebration thing when I'm done. I don't I drink, there's three things I love, as you guys told Javi yesterday: coffee, bourbon, and Dr. Pepper, and that's my celebration. The three. She's my celebration
That's our
buddy.
secret.
Yeah,
It's not a secret anymore, Meg.
not
I
a
know you
secret
must.
anymore. Yeah. Anyway,
But
but yeah,
go
thank
ahead,
you,
Raven.
Megan, and I appreciate you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead, Megan.
Mary, Mary.
You're muted, Raven. I got
Okay.
you.
I don't.
Uh,
Go ahead, Raven.
Okay. Thank you for that moving presentation. I have a question. I heard you said that one of the ways that you were able to forgive was saying, um, I choose not to, I guess, be this way any longer. Was that a process involving accountability? Or was it just something you just, you arrived at? Like, I just choose right now, because for me, I need accountability in that
Mhm.
process of forgiveness. Because I feel I'll revisit it over and over again if I don't have true accountability before the
Mhm.
gentle releasing of forgiveness?
Raven, I choose to say it every time. Doesn't mean the feelings aren't always there. I mean, it takes a long time for the feelings to go away. But I choose to say it every time, and I choose to claim I'm healed from it. You know what I mean? And I think the reason why I always choose to say it is because of the fact that I am still haunted by the last words I said to my grandfather. I mean, it haunts me, right? And I just I can't ever I never want to be that again to anybody in my life because I've met some people who've harmed me. I've met some people who dissed me, but I just chose not to hate them. I hate the actions they did, but I don't hate them. And I make the decisions. It doesn't mean the feeling's not there going, come on, just sock them one time. You know what I mean? No, it's the feeling's there, but you just okay, I choose not to let that happen. And I move forward. And sometimes I got to say it a million times. And sometimes I've got to go hide. And sometimes I've got to, you know what I mean, not go say anything to that person for a bit before I go back. But it's a decision that when I walk into their presence again, I am not going to let my emotions control that and harm the situation further.
Thank you, Tim. We're only going to take one more question, and go ahead, Ms. Tish.
So, Tim, I want to thank you for accepting my Facebook connection.
You bet.
You can blame Michael Faber for introducing.
Yeah, he's evil. We got to watch out for that guy.
I know. I applaud you for just being that front in your face. This is who I am, and challenging us not to be a better person, but to be who we are. So thank you so much for
You
that.
bet. You bet. So
Well,
thank
Michael,
you so much. All right, and being part of the group. And David, thank you so much for David, I've got this new thing coming up that I can get people that they want to opt in and get it for free. Do you mind if I put that link in the chat?
Yeah, free link is fine. I'm cool
Okay.
with that.
Yeah. All right. So I'll put it in the chat. It's something new that coming from Michael's event. I figured out that where I'm supposed to go with my final things. So it'll be in the chat there that you can go opt in and find and watch the message as it goes because this is part of it. So
yeah, that's great, man. Michael, you turned your screen on. You got anything? When you turn your screen on, that typically means you have something you want to say.
No, it's a great job. I was just hearing them talk trash about me after a beautiful presentation.
Okay. Just
want to let them know I was here and hearing it.
love you, bro.
Love you too.
All right, Mr. Gillette, like the razor that I use to shave my face. Thank you for that amazing, beautiful presentation. And brother, once again, thank you for backing my brother's legacy. Like I told you, that means so much to me. And to spread this like a wildfire to those out there that are hurting, who have been through what we have been through. It'll be a beautiful thing to continue this. So thank you for the backing. I love you, bro. And looking forward to connecting and getting to know you more.